Hey, what's going on, guys? Uh, here today recording a podcast for the first time because we're 20 something year olds with nothing really better to do, like people do. Um,
I don't have work until the evening.
Solid. I'm Sean,
I'm AJ.
and together we are no. But yeah. Uh, this podcast, we're mainly gonna be talking about Rainbow Six Siege, our favorite game. Um. I'm
Uh,
also going to be making the thumbnail, I think, whilst we talk about these topics. Some topics we're going to cover today are going to be the Warden versus Solis metas, um, and why Clash is bad. Because Clash sucks, and anybody who thinks otherwise is bad. Do not be
mhm.
bad. Believe in how shit Clash is. Um, yeah. So, Warden, Solis, two
All right.
demons.
So Warden and Solis, they both do two different. They're both part of two different, powerful ideas, right? Warden is nothing but like the current culture of Siege with all the fragging meta, using MPX 1.5. That's the only reason people play Warden. I see so often all over the place wardens who don't even know they have glasses. It's like calves who never interrogate.
It's awful.
But Solis is I honestly don't see a lot of I don't see very many people talk about Solis except for like people who are really high ranked or people who talk about the actual pro scene because her potential for intel denial and gathering is just so high and they have not nerfed her at all whatsoever.
True. I think Silis is kind of in the same place as Brava, where like they have extremely powerful applications, but nobody uses them to their full potential. And that
Well,
potential is fucking scary.
in the case of Brava, the issue is that in the current climate of Siege with the TDM meta, it Brava can't do anything.
True.
One, the timer for Siege over the past few years has been getting smaller and smaller. We have less time to actually plan. We have less time to actually
Well,
make strategies
kind of sorta.
that take time.
Only in quick play has the time gotten shorter, but and ranked it's always been 3 minutes.
But I do believe that the casual experience being shortened does affect that because with everything getting shorter, at the very least in the casual perspective, why should the casual scene care about making strategy when we're being encouraged to be fast, be quick?
True.
Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be fast, be quick in like ranked or I don't watch pro league at all, so I don't know how long their timers. I can only assume they play standard bomb.
Yeah, I mean, secure area and hostage just don't exist anymore,
Yeah, they don't
really.
exist. I don't even can you even get into either of those
You can.
now? Yeah.
They're still in quick play. It's just they're not. They don't even have like the whole auto reinforcement bullshit set up, which is actually kind of a blessing. But also the prep time is still really short, so
Yeah, it's still what, 20
it's
seconds?
dog shit, dude.
It's like half as much time that you normally get.
Yeah,
But with like Brava, the issue is that it takes time to get that drone where it needs to go. Takes time to hack, and yeah, it's really powerful. The best feeling in the world is getting Maestro cameras with a Brava drone and then putting them right next to drone holes. Maestros, I know you're happy. I know you enjoy having three meatballs to your sub, but you gotta place them more strategically. You can't put them next to drone holes. Be aware.
Watch your corners, fellas. Watch those points of entry, baby.
But it takes a lot of time, you know. The You can easily get outside of the objective, like get to a window outside of objective, get to a drone hole outside of objective, get to a door outside of objective. You do your droning, you use both your drones, you capture three cap traps, you capture two Maestro cameras and a thorn. Like that's all your utility use.
True, Brava does have a limit at the very least.
And then you look up at the score, you look up at the top of the screen and you see that it's a 2v5 in the first 30 seconds.
True.
And it's because these people are running in. Brava can't be made useful unless you have a team that is willing to stand back, make noise, make distractions, play utility, and do shit like get the wall open, uh, clear the barricades, make sight lines. Uh, but people don't do that very often. At the very least, from what I see, what we see,
Yeah.
it's the TDM meta. People don't want to do those things. They want to get in there, get their frags, and end the round in a minute because they got shit to do.
Hmm.
They got ranks to pull.
Yeah. Um. That's yeah. Brava really just doesn't excel on teams that want to be fast. She excels in the team that actually wants to play Siege. But if you have like the classic at this point, classic Ash Yana duo, um, you're not doing anything as Brava. Why are you even playing Brava?
Yeah.
You might as well just play literally anybody else who's not another drone operator or like class. Um, because unless you actually like see the objective, you're not doing anything. You're not contributing to the team. At least that's the way they fucking see it,
Hmm.
and they will be assholes about it.
I mean, it shows up on the I have the wind deltas up right now. Brava is currently in a they're balanced in terms of how much they're winning,
Hmm.
like almost perfectly balanced in how much they're winning, but they don't get picked very often. There really isn't a reason to. Meanwhile, Ashiana, Ace, Sledge, Finka, Buck, fast
That's your
characters.
fucking team right there. That's
That's your
a team I
fucking
see
team.
so often in ranked. I wonder how many times I've called in the past few times I've played Siege. Hey, they have a Finka or they have a Buck.
Like Buck has been used so much lately.
Buck has been crazy lately.
Buck has been
Crazier than
crazy.
Ram because Ram is fucking slow and Buck honestly just does it faster.
Yeah, I mean,
Just whips the thing out, chunk, 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 bam, entire floor destroyed.
it is a bit frustrating for a ram to take control, but the more that I play against a ram, the more I realize maybe we should have had second floor roam.
Yeah, that's at that point you really just think of it. It's like, oh, well, I guess that's just a skill issue on my part.
It's just a skill issue at that point. Like we have five people. Like one or two of them could have went upstairs and dealt with that,
Yeah.
ideally at least. But
Um.
back to the Warden versus Solis. The Everything that we said about Brava doesn't necessarily apply to Solis because Solis is a defender. The,
True.
the defenders still are it's reactionary, where Brava has to do active setup time. Other people are still doing their thing. Brava needs to risk their drone, risk their utility, spend time on drone in order to gain value out of themselves. However, whereas Solis, they passively have that. They get that at the start of the game, disrupting drone economy. Drones are huge. All right, me and you, we don't use drones nearly enough, I don't think.
Yeah.
I,
I use
me
drones when there's like 30 seconds left in the round. I'm like, oh, where's the last guy?
and like I've been trying to the times that we have been playing. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been calling to drone people in or asking for people to drone me in,
Yeah.
because that's the most effective way to clear. You
Mhm.
have the drone go in, and you have the person go behind the drone. Drone is talking to the drone talks to the op that's pushing, face checking, and your roam clear. It's so valuable. It's better than just face checking. It's a little bit slower than just face checking, but maps are big, man. People hide in corners.
True.
Dude, people hide in pots behind chairs under desks. Like,
I have destroyed countless plants in order to sit atop their corpses.
exactly. But with Solis, the issue is like it's the polar opposite of the TDM. It's the value that they bring to a purely defensive utility team, a time team, the team that wants you to try to plant. They're playing the objective. The kinds of Solises that play vertically, they only roam, and you're not going to be able to find them because they know that you're droning in their direction, so they
I
know
look
that you're going to
at
be
the
coming.
man in the mirror.
Um, they know that you have a Finca because they can see you through the wall whenever they boost. They know you have an Iana because Iana's walking around in her hologram. They know you've got an IQ because IQ, unfortunately, only like scans at a time. They only have a small
IQ
window.
IQ has a bit better of a range, and also the pistol can be out, but it takes so little time for Solis to just fucking switch and get her anyway that it's like, what's the
It's
point?
yeah,
IQ is solely a TDM operator at this point in her life.
yeah, but and or like Lion or Blitz, God forbid if you brought Blitz and they have a Solis on the board, just wall hacked. You actively have your gadget on at all times. They know where you are.
Yeah.
In Then they also know where they also know where planting is going to be happening. They know where the defuse is whenever somebody drops it, and they can rotate through that vertically. Shotgun, while the Ida is not good, it was still made better by the shotgun changes. And you can consistently get a couple kills playing vertically using that gadget. Then they have impacts. They can easily chunk somebody with two impacts, or just scare them off plant with the impacts, or just make sightline.
The impacts I feel are the biggest part of Solis's kit right now, and that's the main reason she's viable.
The fact that she can impact with her goggles on.
Yes, that also specifically. It's a little awful.
Like
Um
the closest analog we have to Solis is the closest analog that we have to Solis is Pulse, because Pulse, he has a gadget that lets him gather intel through surfaces in a short-ish range. I say short. Solis is nowhere close to being a short range, but Pulse is a short-ranged operator. He can only see through a couple walls, and if the Pulse can see somebody through a wall, unless it's like Pulse looking outside through an exterior wall, you can probably hear or find evidence that this Pulse is somewhere close by.
mhm.
And even then, Pulse is very strong, but he has the M10. Uh, Semi-automatic shotguns, they're better now that the shotgun changes have gone through.
The M10
I
still
like
eludes me
using
as a
the M10.
fucking weapon. I kind of hate that thing.
I
Like
kind of love it. It's bad. It's so bad that I love it.
I like the
That's why I only run M10 fuse, or not fuse, M10 not
thermite.
Thatcher, Thermite.
Yeah, you would have gotten there eventually.
I was gonna get there eventually.
Saved you some time. Um, yeah, the M10 is funny, but like I can never figure out like, am I supposed to ADS or am I supposed to hip fire with that thing? I know that ADS like tightens the hip fire spread and makes it more reliable, or actually reliable at all. But sometimes the hip fire just feels better. I play Spaz 15 or not Spaz 15. Spaz that thing fucking sucks. Spaz 12, Spaz 12,
Mhm.
Spaz 12 is Gucci, and
Yeah, that one's great.
I mainly actually I don't play it that often. I guess I never play Valk or Thorax anymore. So um, but yeah, I prefer the tighter spread and higher damage of the 12. It just always feels better.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. M10 has always been an odd weapon to me because it never really feels like a weapon. It just feels the most like a tool that a shotgun has ever been.
Yeah.
I will always switch to the USG before I decide to frag with the M10, unless I know that someone is right fucking there. Me when I fucking get you.
But
Yeah.
all this circling back to like us making bands of Warden versus Solis. I
Yes.
think that the value of Warden is not found in his gadget. It is not tied at all to his
It
gadget.
has
I
never been tied to his
guarantee
gadget.
you,
It's always been the MPX.
I guarantee you, if we go into a game right now and we play a ranked game and there's a Warden there, I guarantee you, I bring Ying and I kill him.
True. Either Ying or Blitz, really.
I
But
stand in front of a camera and I let them scan me. And I let the entire team know that I am a Ying. I have flashes. I have smokes. Counter me. And I guarantee you, 80 to 20, that Warden is not going to recognize that they have a gadget. They're going to get flashed, and I'm going to push in, and I'm going to slap them with my fish.
except it's a very
Well, she
loud
doesn't have the
fish because
suppressed
it's that
one.
chunk chunk chunk.
I'll slap him with the 612.
Yep.
And I'll win that 80-20, guarantee it. That 20 is the one we need to be careful of, though.
That 20 is the one where he actually hits his fucking middle mouse
that
button or whatever he has
that
bound.
that 20% are the Warden players who've been playing since he got released because he runs with a shotgun funny. Those are the people that you need to be afraid of.
Me.
But whereas Solis, everything is tied to the gadget. Every part of her kit is synergizes really well with the gadget. Ida can be used for vertical play, P90, high rate of fire, high mag size, not very good damage, but I tell you what, headshot machine, and you got 50 of those bullets.
True.
Smig 12, headshot machine, it fires really fast, but please don't miss. You will spend the next 2 seconds reloading and you'll die. Impacts can be used vertically and to destroy gadgets, which Solis is really good at finding. She can find the plant. She can play the plant. She's just really, really good.
Read the plant.
And outside of hoping that she's in the radius of like a Thatcher grenade, there's nothing you can really do besides a roam clear. And and it's going to be really hard to get a roam clear on a Solis because a lot of people are banning Jackal, so you can't feet see her. You can't find her feet. Um, so what you got is you got Dokkaebi, but that's only a short amount of time, and she can just turn it off. And also, if she's within range, she knows where you're pushing from because Dokkaebi pulled out her frickin' tablet, and for the
Mm.
next 2 seconds, she's active to Solis's gadget. If they're roaming and they're checking for gadgets, checking for drones like they should be doing, they'll see that if they're close enough. And if they're not close enough, you weren't close enough to capitalize on that call anyways to kill that Solis.
Mm-hmm.
But and then for the drones, for droning and Iana might as well.
Yeah.
She knows it's coming. She knows what direction it's coming from. She knows where it's going to be. She can destroy it. Congratulations, you've lost a whole drone. I hope you got enough intel off of that, and Solis decides to hold an angle, and you flank it, and like it takes 30 seconds to do so, and they don't look behind them at any point at this time, and you frag them out because they're just tunnel visioned on where the drone came from. They're not going to. They're gonna move. They're gonna know where you're coming from. They're gonna get an angle on where you're coming from, and you're not gonna know it. There's very little that you can do. So you just gotta face check. And the issue is, if you want to face check, your choices are like bringing a shield. Blitz is hard countered because they can see through the wall. They know you're coming. They're
Also, double
faster than
impacts.
you. Also, double impact. They're faster than you. They have the P90. They will likely win unless you catch them unawares. But, you know, catch anybody unaware with Blitz, you'll win.
Right.
It's a moot point.
Yeah.
So it's just really difficult to deal with a Solis. There's very little counterplay that you can effectively do.
True.
Like the only counterplay is roam clear, but the issue is you can't roam clear a Solis. They know
Well,
you're using the gadgets. They know you're using the drones. They know exactly where you are.
kind of, sort of. You can guess where Solis will be based off of whatever objective. Say Oregon, that's super common. If there's second floor, there's always going to be a Solis on the first floor if Solis is available. At least most times. Sometimes it's a pulse hiding under the fucking big window. If you bring like a buck and then someone else with like flashbangs, she has nothing against flashes. She will die to the flash,
The problem
and
is
Buck will never be
you
seen.
you still need to you still need to find them. Like,
True.
yeah, you can bring flashes, but are you going to flash every single angle that Solis could be in? You only got 3 of those.
Well, that's why you have three of those. The flashes are the largest throwable count in the game for any secondary gadget for a reason. You use them to clear any and every fucking angle. And you can also still use them for sound too, because people will scream whenever they get flashed sometimes, or they make like a little grunt noise. Castle will be fucking moaning about it.
Ah!
Ah! Ah! Uh...
Hi, Lexi.
Hi, Lexi. That
That's my
was really
cat.
funny. Anyway, but yeah, I think as far as like we go about, fighting Solis, I would think that we need like 3 people to target objective and then 2 people to go and fucking find her. Me when I fucking find you. Me and my friend when we fucking find you. And it's the people going to find her should bring like just flashes. Like I think that Buck is pretty fucking integral to that strategy because he has a solid kit. He still has the Gon 6 too, right? Did he lose
I
it?
no, he's got the Gon 6, I think.
Yeah. So
It's
Buck,
been a while since I played Buck. Crazy how I can't
yeah.
remember that.
Buck still chilling with a Gon 6 and flashbangs is like such a good loadout because he can counter anything that's not a reinforced wall. And in any case, like I'm thinking solely Oregon here. Like you clear downstairs first, and then you go up one of 2 staircases. You kill the one castle barricade between you and objective if you're going up like white staircase, as opposed to armory. Because
Hmm.
armory, you can have 2 castle barricades in between that one little like lounge room or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, Gon 6 does have a reload animation now. They might give it a second fucking charge.
I I hope they don't.
That would actually make it pretty viable, and that's a little scary.
But it's
However,
already viable. The issue is we're in the TDM meta. Nobody is playing gadgets.
this is
Nobody
true.
wants to play gadgets. People want to play Warden, go to window with 10 seconds left, spawn peek, and die. It's
Yep.
all people born after 1998 know how to do.
Wait, I'm born after 1998.
But
Fuck. Uh, it's just
and then as
uh,
well, it's a lot of set and forget utility as well. Not as
true.
much active utility. People going out there. I've noticed a lot of Thorn. Thorn has been being used lately. Uh, they just throw them,
Yeah, there's never really
and
much
they
thought
just
in most thorns. They just kind of throw them above doorways and then let it be. I like to set up hallways, evil, horrible hallways, and then have like
the
one,
Temple of
like
Doom.
one thorn extra. Like I especially like to pair thorn with legion and
Mm-hmm.
just profit with all the barbed wire I have at my disposal, all two of them. Like now I'm thinking of a yellow hallway on consulate. That thing
Yep.
is terrifying for attackers to push.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many little funny angles where you could just stick a thorn charge. Um, ooh, that's actually a good topic. We could discuss traps.
Yeah, I think we should discuss traps at some point. But uh to you know talking about ways that we can counter, um
Ah,
we can segue to one of the ways that we could attempt to counter a Solis, a buck and a blitz.
I think that is a good combo. She'll
That
know
is a good
about the blitz,
combo.
but actually fighting the blitz is a second story because I
Yeah.
mean she can waste both her impacts if she throws them wrong. But I mean, like, if Blitz can run in after a flashbang from Buck, Blitz can throw another flash on top of that. And between Buck and Blitz, there are 7 flashes.
And the areas that a Solis is going to be around, I'm gonna like go on a limb and say they didn't reinforce any of it. That's all on objective. They're
Yeah.
playing vertical. Why would they?
Yeah, no. They
Why,
have
why
no
would
need to
they
reinforce
reinforce?
unless Defuse is around there and they haven't used like 9 reinforcements
You
at,
know,
I don't
Blitz
know,
really
some
can
fucking
just
map.
sprint around Devil May Care, and they'll eventually run into one another. Granted, it will be up to the Solis on how the encounter begins. Once the Blitz knows you're there, the Buck knows you're there now. Get you Buck's gonna converge on you through any of the walls near you,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna know. Blitz is in front of you. You have your impact out, but now there's an angry Canadian with a shotgun attached to his machine gun.
Think Oregon, right? Think of where I'm thinking, that she's gonna sit because I sit there. Um,
Right?
that room,
Like beneath right next to the
the
stairs.
little like server room right next to freezer stairs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So think about that room. Think about how small that room is. Think about the little distance that Blitz has to clear to get to Solis, and how close it is for Solis to use her impacts and not kill herself. That room is hell for Solis, but also one of her best spots to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
Lets
just the
her.
nature of Solis. Her gadget is risk and reward because good teams will know where the Solis is, and you can, as long as you know that there is a Solis, you can counter her by just
Yeah.
knowing what she'll do. Also, on certain objectives, like any basement objective, Solis is likely not going to be a problem unless you're fighting Macy J.
Yeah.
He will find a vertical angle and make it work.
He will, and I'm scared, dude. I never want to fight Macy. I'd
Thinking,
lose.
yeah, me
Nah,
too.
I'd lose.
Nah, I lose. For Oregon, think of the basement and think of how little verticality there is on basement. There are 2 hatches. That is it. There is nothing else. That is why fuses are so few and far between on Oregon. Is
Mhm.
because there's a few windows they can get reliably, but even then they could just get shot through the fucking window if someone has keen enough ears, which most siege players should.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, Solis does not work for a basement objective unless you're just playing her for P90 Smig 11, which at that point where you're not just playing Rook or Smoke, you should be playing
Yeah.
Smoke on Basement anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
if you want to play if you want to play that
I played
where
Tachanka, but that's my own.
like play Smump. You're on Oregon Basement. Play Smump.
Toxic babes are in position. You know what I'm saying?
Toxic Phase are in position. They took away. I haven't played Smoke in a while. They took away his deployable
They
shield,
did. They
right?
did that a few seasons ago. It
I did
sucks
that a few
ass.
seasons ago. I haven't played him
I
since.
mean, it sucks ass, but it also makes sense because goddamn, that shit was strong.
Yeah, he could do everything.
Yep.
He,
Um,
he's still just a very good operator. Looking at the win delta here, he is slightly, barely winning above neutral, and he has a slightly higher than intended presence.
hmm, interesting.
But Smoke is just good.
True.
He's not.
Um,
He's. It's not that he's overpowered or anything. He's just good.
he just has a
But
reliable kit for playing the bomb objective. It's
yeah,
good.
he's just a good. He's just a good op.
His gadget is
I think
extremely
he's
versatile,
balanced.
versatile, whatever.
He's balanced.
M590
He's
Smig
fun.
11, 590 for frags and for rotates. Smig 11
Hmm.
for frags, quick and easy.
Hmm. You got team play, you got time waste. Like 40 seconds is a long
I
time.
think his is I think his is 30. I think
But
Goya's is 80 seconds. Um, Smokes is I think 30 because each of his gas
no,
traps
yeah,
last
you're right.
for
You're
10
right.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh, or something.
No, I was wrong. What's
Very
got 40 seconds
inside.
uptime? I know something has 40 seconds uptime.
I don't think anything does. You might have been thinking Goyo, but yeah,
Right.
his is
Okay.
80 seconds.
80. It's 80. You can waste a lot of time.
I think
Love
Goyo's underappreciated
I
in
love Mia
time
Goya.
wasting. um, fucking wait.
But
Oh no, they right. Trying to draw hands in the middle of all this, and it's hell.
oh yeah, I forgot you're making the thumbnail right now.
Yeah, I can actually show you what I've got so far. Have you still recording? Still recording? Yes, sir. Eh, eh. Okay,
This is nice. I can already see the vision. I can see the vision here.
vision is there. I think
But
I have like Clash. Oh, it's a eraser tool. Clash, Montane, Blitz, uh, Warden. Just Warden would be like closer to here, but whatever.
yeah.
Um,
But moving a little bit forward with the conversation,
yes.
with the Blitz and the Buck, you know, both Warden and Solis, there's one thing that they can both do that makes one of these two operators a little bit more difficult to pull off.
Yes.
Uh, I think we transition to talking about shields for a moment
Okay.
and why shields are bad and suck in general.
Starting with Blitz, I
And
guess.
toxic opinion, if you think that shields are difficult to fight, you're bad at the game.
Big true.
That's my toxic opinion. Um, if you don't want to deal with my shields because you want to click head and you wasted 500 hours in aim labs or whatever, go to Valorant. All
Your time
right.
is not wasted there.
Your
Well,
time
it
is
probably
not
is.
wasted there. If you are a cracked shot and you want to play a point and click adventure, just go to Valorant and play that instead. I guarantee you, you're going to have a much more fulfilling and enriched experience getting one tapped and having fun down long.
Remember, gamers, peak with your movement, not with your aim. That's the way to go. Um, yeah, fucking. All right, shields and how they suck. God.
All right. I I have been playing Shields since I got into Siege. What, like I think When did Chimera come out? What
That
year was
was
that?
year 3, season 1.
Year 3, season 1? I've been playing since Chimera.
I've been playing since Health. I have never really enjoyed shields except for Blitz, especially when Blitz got the Chimera buff. Um, Even before then, my very first ace was with Blitz, but that was back when he was fat and he could not run with a shield in front of him. I just played him because I was better, I guess, at that point. But even then, I sucked ass, which is why I played Blitz. That was back when shields were like reliable and shit. So it worked.
Yeah, these days, shields. There are a couple. Shields have a long history. You know, uh, back in the beginning, I wasn't around for it, but I know the stories. I know the stories of Sniper Revolver Montang,
She was
where
there.
if he just sat there, he could one tap you with that revolver. He could just do it, and there's nothing you could really do about it. Shield activate, deactivate shield, hip fire. Not a lot you can do, and that's frustrating. I understand that's frustrating. I wouldn't want to fight against that. I don't think that that's necessarily fair to fight against.
It really isn't. Hipfire and Siege is its own little fucking thing. Um, which is kind of an. Hmm, that's a different topic, really. Is
I don't know
Hipfire.
if I'm I don't know if I'm qualified enough to make make a good opinion, a well-informed opinion on hipfire. Like I know some arguments. Like I know Macy J fucking hates hipfire and random spread and all because one shot headshot is a thing. So if
Yeah.
you just have a high rate of fire, if you just have a lucky spin, a Montaigne with his P9 could just dump 15 right in front of him, and one of them has a chance of hitting you in the head and tapping you instantly.
Oh shit.
There's no gameplay there.
When I when I play Blitz and I get in a room and I'm like, a little frightened, but I don't wanna start punching people because I know that reveals myself. It's tactically dog shit for me to do that. I will flash someone and then start hip firing, and half the time there is a headshot involved.
Granted, by the time that you flash, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've done my deep analysis of shields, but not a lot has changed. Um, I'm pretty certain that the flash range of Blitz is like exactly 4 meters.
It's no, it's bigger than that. I think it's like 8 meters.
No, it can't possibly.
It used to
I
be it used to be 10, and then they made it shorter. Hold on, I'll look it up
It's
real
like
quick.
the average distance of an engagement is 8 meters. I've been flashed at by a Blitz and nothing's happened.
Seven
It
meters.
it's 7.
Yeah. The flashes have a maximum reach of 7 meters, with full temporary blindness being caused at 4 meters.
That's what I must be thinking of then.
So
Full blindness at 7.
seven is like a little bit of visual impairment, and your screen changes a little bit.
Okay, that's probably what I was thinking of then.
Yeah.
Like the full blind. Full blind is 4 meters. So if you're getting a full blind off on somebody where they are like 99% helpless,
If you're up in their chest and you flash them, like you should be when you're playing Blitz, that's Gucci. That's pretty much game set match for
yeah.
anybody you're fighting. Um, and I mean at that time you could usually punch them, but even then they might get off a lucky headshot. So be careful doing it, my loyal Blitz players.
Hmm.
Um, always try and get the pistol first. If the pistol fails, hopefully your flash is charged again. You could just fucking. But
Yeah.
even in that case, it's usually pretty reliable that after you've burned a whole pistol mag, you've at least hit them a few times or that they're running away.
And
Or you've been double
tip
impacted and you're already dead.
a tip to all blitz mains out there, or I guess not blitz mains, but people looking to get into blitz. Flashes in Siege don't care how much of the flash was on your screen. This is not Tarkov, this is not Valorant. Flashes don't care where you're looking. If you are within a certain radius of the flash, they will get flashed. If you're playing Blitz and you're within that 4 meter range, just flash them. Doesn't matter if they try to run away from you, they're blind. The flash reaches around and peekaboos people from behind like a cute anime girl. I don't know how that it necessarily works in real life. I've never been flashbanged before, but I feel if I closed my eyes, just my eardrums would rupture. My eyes would be fine.
I would guess so. I don't know. I'll have to get flashbang sometime and see how it feels.
Yeah, just stare directly at a flashbang.
Well, I'll have to take two different tries, one with eyes open and one with eyes closed. I prefer to do the eyes closed first.
Yeah, I know that I know flashbangs don't actually like white out your entire vision.
They just
Like
kind
I
of
know
burn your
that's just
retinas a little.
they just kind of hurt. They just kind
And
of hurt, and they
like,
also aren't even useful outdoors. You'll never see a flashbang used outdoors. Flashbangs are used indoors where the echoing and the acoustics of a frickin' house just like ruptures your eardrums and disorients you because it's loud and that sound doesn't have anywhere to go except your head.
true. It's also the same idea about shooting guns indoors, is that they are really fucking loud inside.
Teehee, get concussed.
Basically.
Me playing Ready or Not using the SA-58 to flashbang everybody in the room every time I take a shot. No, I do not run suppressor. I want them to hear me coming, and I want them to fear. I want the suspects to hear, "Oh, the cops are here. Boom. And then just a body slump. And then footsteps
They brought
approaching the
us.
door.
They brought us 762.
And they brought 762. Oh shit. These plates from Walmart aren't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
But back to Siege.
Back to the topic at hand.
um the other primary issue with all shields in general, the guard break system, the longer that I play with it, I understand why there was a necessity for it.
Yeah.
There used to not really be much counterplay to a shield right in front of you. There was back in the day there was a situation like a hypothetical white room. You have the average engagement distance of what is it, 8 meters? I think it's 8 meters. Average
Yeah.
engagement distance of 8 meters in Siege. You're in a hallway, and a a blitz is standing on one end of that eight, and you a cap can is standing on the other side of that. You have a good gun, but he's crouch walking at you, and your aim isn't good enough to just be able to snap on to the 1 pixel of his hitbox that's peeking over the shoulders and his hand and the top of his head because he's slowly walking towards you. You know, you're not cracked enough to hit those small hitboxes to get a bullshit I got killed through the shield moment. So what can you do? It really isn't anything. You just got to kind of hope that the blitz gets greedy and they rush you and sprint and you can shoot their legs, or you rush them, you melee them. Issue is that 8 meters of distance, it's a stalemate. Neither of you can really do anything. But with the guard break system, I get it. Throw an impact discourages, discourages complacency and makes positioning a lot more important for the shields, while it gives a form of counterplay to the defenders to actually deal with shields. Now, my primary issue with the guard break system is that it leaves the shield completely defenseless. There is no good counterplay to a shield. Somebody brings impacts, which you're a defender, you have plenty of those.
Mm-hmm.
A shield can't really do anything about that. Montaigne can kind of eat them because whatever. I my shield's extended.
He just
Good
stands
luck.
there. His shield barely even gets moved.
Yeah, his shield barely gets moved. Good luck, like sniping my left toe.
Yeah.
But for, Blitz, for Fuse, if you run shield on him, I'm a Chad and I run shield on Blit or Fuse, even though
Yeah, I run shield on Blitz.
I
Whatever.
can I can attribute basically all of my deaths as Fuse as man, if I had an AK-12 right now, I could have probably fought back. Uh, if I had an AK-12 right now, I probably would have had the movement speed to get out of the situation despite the fact that I'm a 3 armor. If I had an AK-12, I could have probably hit that and been prepared. Uh, but anyways, whenever you get shield broken, you can't do anything.
Hmm.
You're unable to melee because your melee is tied to your shield, which whatever, I get that. But the issue then becomes you can't ADS anymore. Now,
Yeah, you
I
can't do fucking anything.
I could be misremembering, but I feel like back in the day before guard break, you could still ADS while your shield was broken. If somebody meleeed your shield, I swear you could still hold your gun out and still fire.
I'm trying to think.
Because I feel like I remember situations where my shield gets knocked out of the way, bap, but I can still like hold my gun forward and I remember the iron sights in front of my face and there being no shield.
I think it's I think it's less that and more that I think it might have just been faster in the past. I don't really remember though because God, it's been so fucking long since they introduced that shit. When did they introduce it? That was like Phantom Sight, wasn't it?
That was Phantom Sight.
God, the season everything fucking changed. Looking at you, Warden, as I'm drawing you. Fucking asshole. Love this guy. I hate him too.
Love this guy.
Um, yeah, Phantom Sight. God, what a fucking
Phantom Sight.
season. Hated that shit. Horizon was peak.
Burn Horizon Peak, Phantom Sight. I cry every time.
I've never
That
seen a sharper clip face than Phantom Sight.
like two operators that at the time of their release, neither of them really did any good.
Yeah,
Nook had some use, but it just wasn't as useful as
that was
it just wasn't as useful.
like, and her FMG9 also didn't have a 1.5 while it was still decent at the time.
Hmm.
And now
Now
it
it's just
has the
worse.
1.5, but it's just fucking bad.
And then Warden, like reminder to everybody listening that Warden used to have what 10 seconds
10
on
seconds,
his.
the movement made your gadget completely unusable within like 0.5 seconds of moving.
Hmm.
So any little subtle change would fuck up your entire worldview as Warden. Um, there was just no playing Warden, not really. There was using him because he ran with the shotgun funny. That's
Yeah.
about it.
You used him because he ran with the shotgun funny and he had a Colonel Sanders mustache.
That is
And
the reason.
he snarls at you whenever you pick him in the operator screen and you see his card just snarls at you like he's about to
Smirking
tear
at you.
into you. It,
I I became a Warden main from the get go. I used to mainly with
it's also from
the
Kentucky.
Sure. I used to mainly with the fucking Kentucky Blaster, the M590. Uh, and that was my main way of profiting with him. I had like a pretty decent KD from what I remember off of my operator stats and shit too. But I think he's like one of my most played defenders, and I've been playing PC Siege since it burnt Horizon.
Hmm.
Um, so he's, I guess, one of my boys. But even that's the thing. His gadget fucking sucked. His kit was always pretty decent.
Yeah.
The MPX is
And
far
he
better
had the
now.
MPX. And now he has the 1.5 on that MPX, and that's the crux of the issue
And
here.
also, fucking recoil has been changed a few times since then for all guns, making the MPX still
Hmm.
more viable than most assault rifle picks.
Hmm.
Um, it's the question of Warden is the Warden versus Solis. in that idea is that Warden will always be better for the TDM meta, which is most of what happens right now anyway.
Right, right.
Solis will always be better for the people who actually want to play Siege because those are the people actually using their gadgets, the people on their fucking phones. Um,
Hmm.
which is that's like the number one biggest thing for Solis players is seeing that telephone, the feeling that you get when you see that thing, and it is either like right outside a really easy window to hop out of, and there's no claymore beneath you.
Which
Um,
you know is there.
when you know there's a Twitch in the middle of objective doing her drone thing, and then you see her silly little telephone outside, it's just it's a
It's
different
free,
it's a
free
different
win.
feeling.
It's
It's the
free
same
kill.
same feeling. Like if I had to describe it, I'd have to bring it to a Lazy Purple's "How It Feels to Play Scout" video. When you have that perfect little moment where your crosshair is fully aligned with your scatter blaster out, and you know that when you click, dear
You're gonna,
fucking god,
dear God, the damage.
that
Meat. Slap him with the fish.
is what I feel playing Sillies and seeing a phone. It's a different feeling for sure.
But the with shields, it's hard to defend yourself nowadays, and with Phantom Sight having taken away a couple things. First, our ADS speeds. I believe that that's when the ADS speeds were
Ember Rise.
really. Was that Ember
The
Rise?
very next season, it was Ember Rise.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because they needed to change it for the introduction of G8A1 with angled grip. Because
Hmm.
dear fucking lord, if that had released, well, ADS changes were still like that, Amaru would have been good off this. Well, no, never mind. I'm gonna take that back because Amaru was always dog shit before her change. That
Yeah.
actually made her get her gun up.
Yeah.
Also, when they made her not automatically break the window, God, that was so bad. Remember how bad Amaru was?
Yeah, man.
She's still
I
technically
remember.
bad, quote unquote, but
She's still
also
bad, but at the very least,
she has an element of surprise now, and that's really terrifying. That is why the bank strat works so much.
honestly, the I've been wondering what the difference is between leaving the window unbroken and then being able to hear the rappel in, or if it's more valuable to I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
Yeah, I
Is it
gotcha.
more valuable for an Amaru to break all of the windows preemptively or to leave the windows untouched for the audio cover? Because it when she's zipping in, it makes the glass break, but it doesn't break the barricade. The issue with that is that everybody inside hears the glass break. That's a loud, distinct sound. You can pinpoint where that happens. But if the glass is already broken, then they hear the rappel zip, but
And they kind of have to guess which window they're
they kind of
going
have to
for.
guess which one it
Like
is.
solely thinking of bank here. I know we both are.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's Amaru
yep.
is fighting Amaru in an objective like that is really a battle of where the fuck is she?
Yeah, where is she? When is she coming? And do we have enough people to stop them?
Yeah,
Because it really can happen, especially with the shotgun changes on with Amaru and the Booper Nova.
not the Booper Nova.
Booper Nova comes up quick.
Yeah, that thing
Shotgun
is
comes up snappy.
that thing is ready.
You can get an ADS shot off with the Supernova real quick before anybody even looks at you. You've done it. I've done it. Supernova is just the way to go with Amaru.
Yep.
uh,
Um,
unless you there are two ways to play Amaru, right? There you either play the G8
Big gate.
and you go for a flanking push where you're just hoping that they don't expect you to come from this location
This
and
is
you walk to objective, or you're already in objective, you have the supernova.
so the flank objective thing that is consulate. That is how you play a Mario in consulate.
Mhm.
You go in through second floor admin, and then you just start walking and start hoping you know where people are. That's how
The
you play that.
G8's good. G8's good for that.
Hmm.
But for a, I am here and now I'm in the objective, and I need to survive as long as possible. Supernova is where it's at. You can just show up, get your trade, and from this point forward, you're on borrowed time.
From that point forward, I am using all the ammo in my SMG 11. When I play bank, I push up that window every fucking time. I think there has been nary a time where I don't push that window. Like sometimes, if we've done the Amaru strat on like the first or second round or whatever, and then we're in like overtime and they pick the objective again, I'll play blitz and I'll go down fucking middle staircase, whatever it's called. I think it's red stairs. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know my call outs. I don't play
Yeah,
the game. I'm a casual.
yeah, me too. I'm a casual who plays ranked. We're the Platinum Kings.
The
Um,
Platinum Kings.
um, but fucking, uh, Amaru definitely excels on that objective, the second floor objective with the supernova. If they have a frost, goodbye. But if Amaru can get in there, clear like one or two people, like I tend to, um, then Ying can just throw all of her utility through a window, and Amaru can get down a plant, or Ying can get down a plant. In any case, someone can stay on that window. The only thing you have to watch out for, of course, is that person in main lobby. But honestly, when we make those pushes, we need someone pushing lobby, someone to make noise.
Hmm.
That's something we need to start doing. Is if we have like a third or fourth person, we just need to send them to the lobby, and then they can push up spiral stairs and clear out the other side. Um,
Yeah.
I think Hunter I think Hunter and Luke could actually do that really well. Luke
Yeah.
and Luke could push in with Finka, clear out the main lobby, and then once they get to Spiral, Hunter can stare down the long fucking hallway on second floor with Glaz,
Hmm.
and that could work really well. If you ever see us in game, don't remember the strats you just heard.
I don't
Um,
remember the scratch you just heard.
yeah,
You're
but
free to use them, but don't recognize us, please.
we do
They
not
don't
have a
even know
clan
our
tag.
tags.
They don't know where it's at. I mean, they could guess based off of my channel name, but I mean, who the hell is I? There's not enough information. There probably
Not
aren't enough
enough
people watching
information.
this video, so whatever, it's fine.
It'll be crazy when somebody recognizes you, though.
That would be fucking wild.
But on shields again.
Back
We
to another point.
back to shields again. We are very scatterbrained. There are many topics we wish to talk about, and this is just the first episode of many, I'm sure. We're,
Attention deficit deficit disorder, whatever.
yep.
ADHD
Um,
versus 84K, baby. Um,
one of the other issues that I have with shields in general is the the rework that's coming out somewhat concerns me
mm-hmm.
because I do think that some of the things that are going to be done in there, at least if what we've seen is true and what we're assuming is true, there are some really big implications about what the shields can do and things that I personally am going to be utilizing a lot. Primarily, um, the fact that you can ram windows and just vault straight through them.
Oh yeah.
Uh, that has really funny potential to do things. If you can do it to doors, I assume you probably will be able to just vault through the door. I'm sure it's gonna look funny. I'm sure when we get in there, a blitz is just gonna run straight to a door, and it's gonna look like they cannonball through it. They just hop, tuck into the shield, and cannonball through it, land, and they just keep running in stride. I feel like it's gonna look funny,
Love Captain
but
America. Um, Captain
that is
Germany.
going to be really useful. However, the issue that may arise from that is a similar issue to what's happening currently with shields with vaulting. Whenever the issue with shields is that the perspective does not match the animation.
True.
There are all kinds of situations that I could make examples of. ADS speed. Ever since they changed the ADS speed, they did not change the animations to actually match that. It is slower to bring the shield down and to ADS, but whenever you look at it from a third person perspective as the defender defending against the Montang whipping out that revolver, it is instantaneous. They pull down the shield, but they still have to wait like a half second before the shot even becomes accurate because you have the gun right in front of you, but there is a strict point in the ADS where it goes from wild hip fire to precision.
True. I have noticed that.
It is a snap point. I couldn't tell you the milliseconds on it because I haven't looked at those things in a long time. I haven't timed by millisecond since the last time that they changed my ADS speeds. At this point, I just think if I could like if I could do the barnyard then I can probably win the fight. But if not, I'm gonna get shot in the head if I try to shoot them.
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
just now imagining a Monty just standing in the corner while I'm imagining a Monty
someone's trying to
1v1 plant
defuse.
situation. They're trying to defuse, and every time they're it's just him
Unshielding.
unextending the shield
Uh,
and then re-extending it.
cute.
It's a good meme. It's a good meme. I'm sure somebody could make that. It feels like a sausage meme.
I do. I miss Sausage. He hasn't really made much recently.
Yeah. Um, couldn't escape Tarkov. Played too much Tarkov. Now they're stuck there. But animations do not match. Whenever you are, as I said before, with ADSing, uh, while you are slow, your animation is not slow. Uh, it's instantaneous, but you can't defend yourself. ADSing is dangerous as a result because people can just click head. Um, Whenever you are vaulting through a window, the greatest issue there is that your character gains an orientation lock. It is an animation lock. When they jump through the window, the shield faces forward, you are facing forward. You may be example Oregon upstairs, the bedroom of bomb objective, that balcony with the doorway. There are two different angles that you can be contested from. You can be contested directly from the right, directly from the left, through the wall. It's either somebody's holding the bunk bed or somebody's holding head holes to the left.
Hmm.
You can't contest either of those as a shield. You in first person, you know that they're there. So you hug, let's say, for example, hypothetical, somebody's holding the bunk bed, holding the corner in the bunk bed on Oregon upstairs, and you're alone at the window. Windows down, you can see inside. It's a 1v1 situation, so you know that you're not going to be peeked from anywhere else. You think, oh, I can safely push this. I'm a blitz. I'll just flash him because the engagement distance is close enough that if he's peeking me, I'll win. Well, the issue is that when you jump in, your orient locked forward. You in first person, you jump in, you turn, and you look at them, and then they just kill you and you wonder what happened. And then it goes to the kill cam, the final kill cam of the round, and you see that when you jumped in, it looked like you were just going straight. It looked like you were going to hop in and you were going to go plant in game room.
That's actually a thing with all of Siege, though, is that your character, whenever you do jump through the window, you look forward with your player model for like I don't know half a second, and then your body
You
snaps.
snap, yeah.
So that's a
Like
deeper
that's just
problem with
a
Siege itself
Yeah, that's a
at
deeper
that point.
problem with Siege and less of a shield
Shield
problem,
issue.
but it is incredibly different for the shields because with the shields, with, with everybody else, with every other normal character, there's very few situations where your animations being untied from the hitbox because you in first person don't see your model. There is just uh, a flat image projected onto the screen to represent yourself so that you know what you're doing, whereas your 3D model exists in the 3D realm
Yeah.
that you personally can't see. That doesn't really come up very often where it is an issue. But for shields, where you are now relying on this slab of metal to protect you, having a consistent idea of where it is and what it's doing will save your life. The other thing is that the shield itself just likes to orient lock unless you're moving. If you it I don't know if they've changed this. I doubt that they have, but I remember a couple seasons ago, if you were a shield crouched and you started to slowly move your mouse, instead of you slowly moving your 3D model with it, instead your player model would snap in degree increments based on where you were aiming.
Hmm.
So you could technically aim at something and there is a dead zone that your model doesn't actually change. The way you combat this was that you would either move or you would ADS. If you were ADSing, then it was active. It always was the same as what you saw on your screen. But whenever you were passive and you had the shield up, hip fire, that's when it was a problem. That's an inconsistency that you can't really account for unless you are just constantly moving.
Mm-hmm.
Which the issue with that then becomes if you're moving sideways, your feet and your knees kick out from the shield, so that can be shot out. And there is a lot going against shields, and the rework could solve it, but the things that I'm really afraid of is that push, the shove. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that some fighting game terms. I like to think of the shields in terms of fighting games because it really does feel like that sometimes. Um, when you oh god, my mic. Whenever you shove, I'm hoping that there are no recovery frames on the end of it
Yeah.
because
Like you
the issue with
shove and then you're up, basically.
yeah, with Oryx, you shove. The point of the dash isn't to shove people. It's funny,
Mm-hmm.
but you exist to dive through that wall. You exist to dive through that wall because you need to get into that room immediately, or you exist to jump a 15-foot vertical on
You are the element of surprise as
yeah,
Oryx.
you're the element of surprise.
You
Either
exist for the same
15
reason
foot
Mario does.
vertical or straight through the wall. But shoving somebody, it's analogous. You shove somebody as Oryx, there's a little bit of end lag. There's a little bit of recovery on Oryx for him to pull the gun out. It's relatively even whenever Oryx shoves somebody. People can get a shot off whenever you get shoved by Oryx. But the issue is that usually you're stuck prone, and the Oryx can just move to the side, sidestep you, and they'll shoot you. With shields, I'm really hoping that it is not the same. I'm hoping that when a shield shoves somebody, there is no recovery. They shove, and one frame after they're able to shove, they can begin the ADS and they can shoot you because otherwise, uh, hypothetical situation of a update that hasn't been released yet, for a mechanic that we have very little actual knowledge of, you shove somebody a situation inside of the reveal that they gave us. You jump in, shove the maestro to the ground, they're prone. They now have an LMG aimed at your legs,
Hmm.
and you, in recovery frame, can't do anything like aim your gun at them or crouch down.
Simply need the time to react. Like it's otherwise the shield rework means nothing. The
Yeah,
shield rework. The only reason it should exist is to give the shields the time to react. That's the only reason that shields need to be changed at all. Is because they're too fucking slow.
right. And like all the shields, they have a all the shields, they have the movement penalty. Montang and Fuse are like the slowest things in the game.
Hmm.
Um, the shield, Monty, not doing very good in terms of presence or win rate. Blitz, they're not doing very good at pick rate, but I suspect that because of the current TDM meta, that explains why they are winning slightly more than what is expected, the intended. Um, because Blitz, of course, is a rush character. So in the TDM meta, rushing is, of course, uh,
Yeah, it's superior to any strategy in the game.
yeah.
It's just easier to win if you're going fast. Which I
Now I
mean,
will say,
yeah,
just a small thing on the TDM meta. I do think that the TDM meta only exists because of two things. One, the existence of the 1.5 making it incredibly easy to gain magnification while still being able to play close quarters, making it really easy to frag out. But second, I believe it just has to do with culture. I
yeah,
think that the TDM meta as on its own, it only exists because of a current culture that prefers the gameplay of the TDM meta, whereas nothing has changed to make the gadgets worse. Cap traps, thorns, lesion, Malusi wubs, all these things still exist. All these things are still powerful. It's just that nobody's playing them.
hmm,
Nobody's picking Legion to delay the enemy and gain intel. Nobody's playing Capcan because everybody is a scrub and they keep banning Capcan because they want to shift W into objective.
Captain banners are so funny to me.
Capcan bans are so funny to me. Just drone, the Capcans are literally eye level with your drone because who's making waist high Capcans? Somebody crazy who's about to get a Capcan kill. That's who.
True. Some madman who really knows how to play what he's playing. Um, yeah, nobody plays Melusi really for the microwave. They only play her for the MP5, which in that case they usually play Doc or
Just play
Rook.
Doc. Yeah, just play Doc. Just play Rook.
Melusi needs a different bit of I don't know anything to make her better. If she was a two
See,
speed, I think she'd be better.
I think that Malusi's just fine. Malusi is looking at the Delta right now. Malusi is currently winning a little bit more than intended. She is technically too strong, but she's underpicked. I don't think Malusi gets used very often because of the whole, bulletproof thing.
Hmm.
But I also think that has to do again with the current culture. Nobody's playing the traps.
Yeah.
I think that's why Fenrir is so strong. Not a lot of people are playing Fenrir. Well, no, people are playing Fenrir, but uh, he's getting picked and he's useful. But the problem is that people aren't actually playing on them. In an ideal scenario, a Fenrir is a checkmate. You step into a Fenrir and there is zero counter to it. You just die. That's just how a good Fenrir will work. If you have set up a kill area with a if you've set up a kill area with a Fenrir, there's nothing you can do. They've put it in a place where you have to peek the gadget and you have to peek the gadget and not the people that are going to shoot you. And you're not going to be able to see them anyways. It's a checkmate.
God, why is your mic going baloney string?
Going baloney string because I need a new one.
Uh-oh, probably.
That's about it.
I want to stop streaming Krita in case that helps at all.
No, it has nothing to do with the stream. It has everything to do with my actual kit. But one of the other things that I'm hoping, I am only assuming this because I don't see how else something like this can be accurately made, but the free looking. The free looking with shields has the potential to be useful, but only on Montang. Montang is the only one that's going to be useful on, specifically because he's the only one that can get away with passively standing in front of a doorway.
Yeah.
Blitz, passively standing in front of a doorway, you're going to get nitro celled and you're going to instantly die.
Or a shot in the
Uh,
shoulder.
or a shot in the shoulder and instantly die. Montang's the only one that can get away with it. But I think Montang being able to free look, they peek a door, hypothetical. You peek a door as a Montang, there's a Malusi wub directly to your left. You can't ping that to let your friends know, but now with the free look, you could.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that excites me about the free look is for there to be free look, that means that there is a controllable camera right there. And because you are looking around, I think that means that the shields just render themselves in 3D and your model suddenly becomes like what you see in the third person world as what you see in the first person world, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that means that they're in sync now. I could be wrong. They could do some weird like fun fact. Doom is actually a 2D game. It's not actually 3D.
For
Just
anyone who
kind of
didn't
like
know, yeah.
for anybody who didn't know that, the original Doom games are not 3D. Those are 2D images. It's all 2D. It's all
It's
flat images
it's
that are
2D, but it's a
projected.
really funny 2D.
Yeah, it's really funny 2D. Um, it could be something like that where it's some really funny 2D thing is happening. Also, fun fact, Five Nights at Freddy's, it's a PNG with clickable areas.
It's so many GIFs. It's just so many GIFs.
Yeah,
GIFs and PNGs everywhere you look. That's Five Nights at Freddy's, baby.
it's just Five Nights. That's
At
just it.
least the first few until I think maybe like sister location.
I think either sister or four.
I think so. I don't remember.
Four definitely, but I don't know about sister. But anyways, this is
This
we're
is
talking about
Siege conversation.
Siege.
This is you see,
We'll
yeah,
talk about Five Nights at Freddy's another day, maybe.
probably.
We'll talk
Five
about the
Nights at
lore.
Freddy.
Uh, but with that, I'm hoping that the shield. My hopes is that the shield rework comes out and everything works as normal, and Ubisoft doesn't like bug the hell out of it, and suddenly people are able to like classic Clash being a
Oh
glitch
my
hound,
god, the Clash
and
fans.
like suddenly Monty is capable of like full extension while also ADSing, and he can shoot through his shield just like Clash used to be able to back in the day. Hoping that doesn't happen because
I don't want
I would
Monsane to be banned.
I'd fucking cry.
I don't want Monsane to be banned for weeks.
I'd cry, dude.
Remember how he used to like fucking hate Clash and think that she was really a menace, and then you played her once while she was available for like a week back in
I
Phantom
get
Sight, and you were like, get
it.
it.
I get it.
um, oh, we never did talk about Clashes. Silly. We've been talking for an hour and 20.
Yeah.
I had like a minute to cut out at the beginning, but
I
yeah.
think that I have a lot to say about each individual shield, honestly. I could probably on my own spend like an hour talking about each individual shield. We could probably make an entire podcast episode out of each of the shield characters, and then we'll make another one talking about why I think that Thermite should be a shield operator.
I think that a lot of people think that. I am one of the people that
That
thinks
is a
that Thatcher should
lukewarm.
also be a shield operator because it'd be
That's
funny.
a Thatcher is an interesting shield operator, but
Or primary.
I know that Thermite being a shield operator, I know that one is like a tepid take. I know that I am not the first and I will not be the last one to think that. And I'm definitely going to be part of a very large amount of people who's going to be cheering once the shield rework comes out and they start putting shields on people in the same way that they put Gone sixes on people.
Man, fucking. Oh, that didn't need to go that way. Okay. But yeah, I think that shields are in a really weird place right now because nobody knows how to play them. Nobody knows how to play against them. So they get mad that they can't play against them, but they're extremely easy to play against, and the people who do know how to play against them know that. And so they're never scared.
And yeah,
Literally,
they're
it's
never scared.
just bring smoke to Chanka or have 5 people stack impacts because it's really easy to do, and any impacts at all is viable. So why are you not doing it
Yeah.
anyway?
Yeah, if you know that the enemy team is going to be bringing a blitz, just play freaking chunky, play smoke, play play a Malusi, just play traps really, and waste time for them. They can't rush because that's the whole point of blitz. They want to rush. They want to get in your face. If they're playing Monty, just bring nitro cells. If you know they're going to be playing Monty, like you played start defense round one, they play Monty, and it looked like they were pretty good at what they were doing. They're probably going to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring nitros, bring fire, bring smoke, bring wubs, bring shocks,
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire, baby.
bring it, bring improvised explosive devices.
Capcan. um,
Stop playing Oryx to counter shields. It doesn't work.
Oryx is not a good shield counter. He exists and he can be funny 1 out of 10 times.
I am a shield main, and I get giddy whenever there is an Oryx.
I am happy when there is someone who thinks he is better because he is not.
I've been playing Monty for the past 2 rounds, and round 3 they play Oryx. Like, oh, you had the entire roster to choose from, and you chose him. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious when you figure out that I'm better than you. It's gonna be hilarious when you find out that I can time my melee to kill you mid charge.
You are but a fucking bull.
You
Mind
are a
you, bulls are not very smart.
you are a bull, and my platter is my red cape, and you will miss. And I'll call somebody to stab you with a spear or something. Because bullfighting.
Yep.
Get a Finka, and they use the spear to kill the Oryx after you. Ole!
Ole! Have a jackal just so there's Spanish on the team. Except fuck the Spanish, because people ban the Spanish all the fucking time.
Yep.
I
Rest
just
in peace,
I
Jackal
want to play
Mira.
Mira sometimes. Not all the time, really, but sometimes. I would like
Yeah,
to have the option.
yeah. Final thoughts. Stop banning Mira. Ash counter hard counters Mira now, so you can stop worrying about you can stop worrying about it. Just stop banning her so that we can play her. All right, we like playing her.
Also, ban either Warden or Solis instead. Don't worry, we'll ban the other one that you didn't ban.
Yes.
um,
Um,
but
but closing thoughts on Solis and Warden. Warden only exists because of the 1.5. If he didn't have the 1.5, there would be no reason to play him over, say, Valk or Tubero,
Subaru,
because he just got released. Um,
people are still
Warden,
figuring out how to play him, so we haven't seen a lot lately.
mhm. But Warden, he only exists because of the 1.5 and a cultural shift of people playing the game like it's team deathmatch. And I honestly think that Siege adding the team deathmatch mode is a part of the problem. But and then Solis is incredibly powerful, but in the current climate, she isn't useful. But if you allow her to be useful, it is hell. There is very little counterplay to Solis, and that is why, me personally, I'm going to continue to keep banning Solis.
Yeah, I'm one for banning Warden just because more and more people will play Warden and frag with Warden, even though he can be easier to counter than Solis for sure. But it's just a matter of fucking the whole thing is painful because it really all it boils down to is that Siege is in its worst state right now because it is having a horrible identity crisis. It doesn't
Hmm.
know what it wants to be. Ubisoft doesn't know what it wants to be because they've changed developers so many times and community directors so many times. I think that
Yeah.
Alexander Kasparis, the current guy at the top, I think that he has a decent role in it because he's actually been like a Siege Pro player in the past. But even then, that might also be part of the problem of we don't know what what we want the game to be. Um, it's just it's it's all rough to look at because I don't know how I would specifically make the game better. I have a few ideas here and there, but like I'm no game developer. I don't know exactly what people want because I know what I want, and I want a game that is fun. Not everybody wants a game that is fun. They want a game that is competitively viable and fun for them. While fun for me is, I don't know, like team killing people I don't like because screw them.
uh,
I'm not having fun. Shouldn't have. Um, but
One thing that like Frost, good
yeah.
example.
Oh my god, the frost rework. That thing, that shit pisses me off because it's like, we want people to have a chance to play the game. Well, what about regular people who get downed? Like, why do people who get their legs fucking broken get to just get up? But people who get, I don't know, shot in the arm once or twice and then are downed and they're like, I can't get up. My legs are so unharmed, but I can't stand unless someone just picks me up by the arm that I've been shot in 3 times. Please.
Yeah. The realism argument isn't really one that we can use for Siege at
It
this point
sucks. At this
anymore.
point, it's all about balance, and the balance is odd.
Yeah.
um, I don't know exactly how I'd make any of it better, but I don't really know how I'd exactly make any of it worse either. So there's that.
I think that, you know, at the very least, we can work with small problems. Small problems of how to make Warden and make Solis better. I think that for Solis, I have a very good idea of what would make her less oppressive and more interactive. I think that one, I think that it should be similar to Pulse. I think that having a constant scan across your entire screen is too strong. I think that Solis should, as their meter goes down, it pulses. You know, similar to Pulse's heartbeat sensor, it pulses left to right over and over again. So you don't there's a refresh rate on the intel you're gathering. It isn't live. but it's giving you an idea of movement, it's giving you an idea of position, it tells you something's there. Doesn't tell you exactly what. I think that a good thing for Solis would be something similar. Something where it is a pulsing scan, similar to how Solis can just ping things for her team by activating her gadget. I think that that pulse should be the standard. And I think that if the pulse was the standard and it was like a 360 thing, or if it was at least in an area in front of her, a cone in front of her, where it would pulse out like every second or so, just throwing numbers, doesn't need to be a second, but throwing numbers every second, a pulse is thrown forward, and it tells you what was in that pulse. That way, you can't just activate
Ugh.
it. Yeah.
Ooh. That
You
was
can't
pretty
just
cool.
activate it, buzz around, look around, and then deactivate it instantly. You would have to keep it out for a long time in order to catch something.
Yeah.
It would make the use of the gadget a lot more proactive rather than a reactive thing. It would make it less fluid, which is one of the issues with Solis. She can do too many things too quickly. She gets too much information too quickly, and she can capitalize on it very fast and very effectively. I think that would solve it. I think that would solve Solis. I think if it wasn't a constant scan, it'd be great.
Hmm.
If it was just like Pulse, where it was a refresh rate kind of thing, fix it
Yeah.
easily.
I think
And also make it so that she can't fricking throw impacts while she has the thing out.
yeah, that's a big issue. I think Warden's biggest problems are the 1.5 and or the MPX. They should be mutually exclusive because
Mhm.
the MPX should never have a 1.5. It's way too powerful with it. The rate of fire and recoil are way too good with the added range of the fucking 1.5. And if you run
Mhm.
extended barrel, you are profiting.
Yep.
Um, Angled grip is also a choice, but at that point, the recoil is a little silly. But pro players do not see the silly, so there is no
Pro
problem
players
with
are
that.
better than me. They don't see that silly.
Yeah, so I run vertical because tee. Um, in any case, MPX issue or
Yeah.
1.5 issue. Um, I think
I
that
don't
if Warden
think
had a
that.
different gun with a 1.5 would be better. I really got to go to the restroom, so I'm gonna end this here.
All right.
Goodbye, love you guys. I'll be opening this soon.